Hello, and welcome to the 5S and how to sort statistically. As in our last lecture, we explained that it's culture and not a strategy, but we can definitely use these statistics to analyze and see where improvements can be made and have been made. So sorting statistically. As seen to the right, we have a bar chart, and as seen to the left, we have a list of items and quantified data. We can see that our used items are represented in blue in the bar chart, and the orange represent are not used. And to the left, we can also see in our template we have reasons for why they've not been used and also the percentage. I'll go into much further detail in the Excel tutorial where I explain all of this step by step. Remember, sorting statistically is just an analysis, so we can create a calculation sheet where we can quantify our monthly data. We can illustrate this through a bar graph. We can see our savings that we can recoup through a pie chart, and we can see our main cause of our problems through our Pareto analysis. Remember, this is analysis of work. It's not a strategy to make your work better. This confirms continuous improvements have been made and are being implemented. This can also save us a lot of time and money. So, to conclude, this is also known as the beginning of the continuous improvement, basically seeing what we save and seeing what we waste. This also improves for what we have for our next S, which is set. Anyway, there's a video lecture step by step on how to create these charts and what they all mean and how the numbers affect them. I hope you enjoy the lecture and I hope you learn a lot too. Thanks for staying tuned. Hi, and welcome to the second S, how to set statistically. Over here we will analyze our progress and can start off with some really basic stuff. This is how we can start off statistically analyzing our set. I've written down a location, I've written down the name of the item and the quantities there. So in this case we've got drawers, cupboards and racks for location, socks, shirts and shoes for item names. As we can notice, we've noticed the quantity of socks is 20, so we can analyze this in much further detail to see if it's actually a good place to set these socks inside the drawer. Once it's all done and completed, we can see that over a 7-day span, we've calculated the quantities, the standard deviations, the averages, the upper control limits, and the lower control limits. If we keep on working towards the upper control limits, this will allow us to maximize space. If we notice the standard deviation, represented by sigma, this is representing either our inventory loss or our inventory gain dependent on the situation. I have created a tutorial just guiding you through the process step by step in each equation and what all these numbers mean. So as a quick conclusion, we can maximize the space by working our inventory towards our upper control limits. Control stock losses and foreign object gains are normally represented by a standard deviation, and monitoring these results can suggest whether we've already found the best position for our stock or not. I hope you have learned something and hope you enjoyed the tutorial on how to set statistically. Thank you very much and thank you for staying tuned. Hi, and welcome to the third S, Shine. I will show you how to shine statistically. We can usually start off with an area, time, found and the value, as represented on the template on the left, where I've written down the numerous areas we have, the amount of allocated time for it, and the value of things found. I've also written a little note there just to clarify what has actually been found. This data can easily be represented on a line graph, and when you set X to 0, Y will show us our most valuable cleaning times. I like to call this the value spent cleaning. Let's say, for example, next week we notice inside the ceiling area, we notice a leak and it's £100 for the plumber. Naturally the value has gone straight up, but it hasn't affected our time. So that means even though our monetary value has gone up, our time has been unaffected. If we look at the equations on the graph on the top right, those plus C's and plus C's, the 2.714 and the other one 7.857, those are representing our time and the monetary value. So in this case, we can see for spending 2 minutes and 71 seconds, we gained about £7.90 if we were to round it up. Anyway, I've created a step-by-step guide on how to build these sheets and explain how it all works and how we can shine statistically. So, as a quick conclusion, we can now find the best amount of time used for cleaning. We notice as the time lessons for cleaning will not always affect our monetary values, and the best possible cleaning results for rotas and times is if we set x to 0 and calculate the y-intercept. As mentioned in the previous slide, there is a step-by-step tutorial explaining this in further detail. I hope you've learned something and I hope you stay tuned for the next S. Hi, and welcome to our fourth S, standards, and this is how we can statistically analyze our standards across our company. As we can see in the image to the left, we have a basic template written down with our areas, the amount of standards, the time spent on it in hours, our value, our lower control limits and our upper control limits. Just below it is a combo chart drawn up with a bar chart representing our office, workshop, parking lot, garden and kitchen, and the lines representing our control limits. This is just to make sure that all of our quality standards are actually kept equal across the whole border. In the next slide, I'll show you what happens when a department works much harder than the other departments. So for now, please take note of the workshop. It's got one of the lowest readings on our quality standards, and looking at the amount of standards it's working with, it's 5 and spends about 4 hours. So here's an example if they decided to work much harder, the workshop. So now from their previous standards, they decided to up 25 standards and try and get it done in 4 hours. This has now obviously exceeded the company's expectation, but has now fallen out of control. Can it be done? We're not too sure. Only through analyzing we can see this, but at the same time we do not want the workshop to feel that they're working harder than the other departments. So what should we do? The usual suggestion is give them more free time for they want to raise up their standards. This means that they've generated more free time due to keeping up 25 standards. So in this scenario, when bringing them all back into order again, the workshop has now 15 hours instead of the initial 4 hours in order to complete their 25 standards. Who knows, this might even be an hour extra lunch break, as 10 standards has allowed them 11 hours of flexibility within the company. Naturally, this has led to a drop in the parking lot, where the other departments will be looking at the parking lot, either thinking you better lessen your time or improve your quality standards. So to conclude, when we analyze the standardization process of 5S, it's just to make sure that everyone puts in the same amount of work and effort. If there are any departments excelling, it forces other departments to improve as well. If the standard is substantially high, it also allows more free time to be generated in that department. Anyway, I've created a step-by-step video on how to create these charts and what they all mean. I hope you enjoyed this quick conclusion and the slide, and hope you learn a lot from this. Thank you. Hi there, and welcome to the fifth S, sustain, and this is how we can sustain statistically. As a brief introduction, I've written down a little template over here with different phrases and different numbers. Naturally, this will all be explained in much further detail. Just remember, it's a reward system when it comes to sustain. I've given a full breakdown on how to conduct this work through an Excel tutorial. This is obviously dependent and leaning more towards your company's values and how they would like to bring up their culture. Just as a general rule of thumb though, it's just as an enjoyment of a job well done, so everyone gets to enjoy the benefits. As explained, I've also created a tutorial in Excel explaining on how we benefit from this. Remember, all these statistical analysis is only based on company culture. It's not a strategy. But to conclude, it will reward the people with exceptional work. It will also confirm, clarify and reward those reaching targets. The very reward itself is proof that the profit is made and has been contributed towards the company. and naturally more rewards equals a better company value and more profits. I hope you enjoyed that brief introduction and hope you enjoyed the Excel tutorial where we can see how the more rewards you give means the better company culture, value and profits for the company and everyone else. Thank you very much for staying tuned and hope you have learned something.